This might be controversial, but I think that the MacBook won't exist in 5 years from now. Everyone is talking about the new MacBook Air and discussing things like, is the M3 chip faster than the M2? Why did Apple change the shape away from that iconic wedge shape to this boxy shape? And is it just me, or are all laptops starting to look the same? Will we soon be able to just buy the logos separately? But these are of course all the wrong questions. These are just the front face and the curtain, and the real secrets lie behind, hidden deep inside Apple's secret design lab, where Apple is figuring out how to make the MacBook feel. Make the MacBook feel? This makes no sense, right? Why would a company take a best-selling product and then try to make it feel? Well, it turns out it does make sense, and it only makes Apple richer. In this video, I'm going to help you understand how killing its own products is Apple's secret strategy that has made them the most valuable company on planet Earth, and why that means the MacBook will probably be dead in 5 years. But to understand why this is Apple's future, we first need to understand why it's their past. Let's rewind back to the year when the renowned founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, had just been rehired to be CEO of Apple after he was fired from his own company, only to create one of the most successful movie studios called Pixar, and then make a movie-like re-entrance into Apple, and also a successful computer company called Next, which Apple bought, allowing Steve Jobs to make a re-entrance into Apple that's worthy of a movie. It's literally worthy of a movie. It was made by Aaron Sorkin. Though unlike other Aaron Sorkin movies, can't say this one was good. Nope. Not good at all. So Steve Jobs had returned only to find Apple struggling. It had a long list of loss-making products in its portfolio. It had no sense of direction or focus, and the board and shareholders were starting to get really worried. This is where Steve Jobs made his first master move, which was risky, shocking, and a little counterintuitive. He killed off almost the entire product portfolio of Apple in one afternoon. What kind of CEO tries to grow a company by killing its products? Turns out, a very smart one. Steve famously took the top team at Apple to an offsite and told them that what Apple lacked was focus. He drew the now famous 2x2 chart with 4 boxes and asked his team to pick the 4 products that are most likely to succeed, and bam! Here it is. And he asked them to double down on these 4 and forget about the rest. Now, this was a move that likely saved the company, because 5 years later, Apple's profit was booming and Steve Jobs was the king of the tech world. It also gives us a valuable business lesson that deciding what to do is as important as deciding what not to do. Now, this wasn't the only time that Steve and Apple applied this strategy. The next time they did it was with a product that was one of the most loved consumer products in the world. It's a product that not only transformed an entire category that was struggling, but also a product that was held together by the secret sauce of a unique and intuitive interface, the click wheel, the simple marketing message, which was 1,000 songs in your pocket, and the beautiful, slim, portable industrial design that became the apple of everyone's eye. Can't believe I used that pun. Thanks to that one viewer who laughed. Yes, I'm talking about the iPod, that product that nostalgically reminds us of the time when everyone used to buy the single worst tech ever designed, called the CD, and then try to immediately transfer all of the songs to the best music player ever designed, the iPod. But as you remember about the birth of the iPod, can you also remember its death? Apple sold the iPod last in 2022, and it went from a peak of selling hundreds of millions of units a year to being suddenly killed off in 2022. Why? Why did Apple stop selling a product that was doing so well? The reason is because Apple understands the one secret in tech hardware that many others like Nokia and BlackBerry, Microsoft, even Google don't always understand. That if you don't compete with better and then kill your own products, someone else will. Boom. Okay, I know I don't have an actual mic, but I always wanted to do that. So give me a cheer in the comments if you liked it. So Apple killed the iPod with the product that you all know and many of you are watching this video on right now, the iPhone. The second grand master plan to kill its own products, which I'm sure you will all agree has been really successful. The iPhone has now sold more than 1.5 billion units globally, and it's the highest selling premium smartphone on the planet for the last 10 years. 1.5 billion. There's 6 billion people on Earth, and they've sold 1.5 billion iPhones. Man, people really like FaceTiming each other. So what does this mean for the MacBook? Why would Apple want to kill it? Won't people always use computers? This isn't the product that you'd want to kill, right? Well, I think it's the very product that Apple has in its sights for the next one to kill, and there are 3 secret reasons behind this choice. The first is the short-term reason, which is the increasing dominance of the iPad, which you'll agree is the natural successor to the MacBook. The iPad has not only grown in sales, it had a measly 7 million units of sales in the first year, but now it has more than 50 million units each year. As the iPad has grown to become the world's favorite tablet, Apple has quietly been bringing the operating systems and the capabilities of the Mac and the iPad closer together. They're now based on the same design platform and code base to make the Mac a lot more like the iPad when you use it. Adding a file system to store files, adding the ability to use a mouse pointer, making it work like a computer with the Magic Keyboard, Apple is making things harder and harder to differentiate between them. And it's not just Apple. The world's largest selling computer software maker, Microsoft, who sells Windows, is doing the same with its software and hardware. The latest Microsoft Surface laptops can be used like a Mac in a computer form factor, and also like an iPad with a tablet and a keyboard kickstand, which is a lot like the iPad. Now, the second secret reason is the future of computing, which Apple believes will move away from the physical form factor more into the virtual world. The evidence of this is the biggest hardware bet this decade that any company has made, the product which will probably completely transform the way we live, the Apple Vision Pro. The Apple Vision Pro's killer feature, as agreed by every single known reviewer on the internet, from Marques Brownlee to Mr. Who's the Boss to iJustine and Akshay Goenka, is the ability to pair with a MacBook and make it a giant virtual reality screen that can be used with the MacBook. Now, at this point, the screen is in the Vision Pro, but all of the computing and the inputs are all from the Mac. But there's no reason why in a few years the computing also happens right in the Vision Pro, and all you need is a keyboard accessory that goes with it. And maybe not even that if Apple comes up with an amazing new interface which makes the keyboard redundant. But I know what all of you are thinking, that wait, the Apple Vision Pro isn't actually all that great. It's really expensive, it's too large and uncomfortable to wear, and it's kind of been a failure. So why has Apple made this big bet on a product that's already failed? Well, I think that they actually secretly wanted it to fail, which reveals another brilliant strategy that only Apple can pull off. And if you want to know all about it, click right here and see you in a minute.